Okay, this is the last section of Module 4 on global sourcing, Section 21. We're going to get into the math of everything we've talked about thus far. We're going to break it down, categorize things by ocean transportation, and then the customs component. Let's begin with that ocean transportation piece. Step 1, calculate the cubic centimeters of the carton of a single carton. We know what the DIMs were, 36 by 46 by 31 equals 51,336 cubic centimeters. But remember, our unit of measure for ocean transportation has to be expressed as a cubic meter. So in step 2, we're going to boil that down a bit. We want to determine in step 2 how many cartons fit into a cubic meter. So we take 1 million and divide by those cubic centimeters, 51,336, to come out to 19.5. We're going to round it up to 20. But the question is, 20 what? 20 cartons of these dimensions fit into a single cubic meter. We're starting to get close as to how we want to assign a dollar amount for ocean freight per pair of jeans. To do that, let's move on to step 3. Calculate how many jeans fit into a cubic meter. We know already from step 2 that 20 cartons fit into a cubic meter. We also know, because we already said so, that there are 12 pair of jeans per carton. That takes us to 240 pairs of jeans per cubic centimeter. This is the part where all of the previous numbers that we shared came from. 240 pairs of jeans per cubic meter. We said that there are 70 cubic meters worth of freight in that container. 240 times 70 is 16,800 pairs of jeans. That's where that number came from. It's also where the 1,400 cartons numbers came from, because if we know that 20 cartons fit into a cubic meter and the vendor filled up 70 cubic meters, that's 1,400 cartons. All of this math figures out. The little cheat sheet that we gave previously, this is where those numbers came from. Let's review. We know from step 2 that 20 cartons fit into a cubic meter. We know that there are 12 pairs of jeans in every carton, so there's 240 pairs of jeans per CBM. Step 4, to arrive at the prorated cost per pair of jeans, divide the cost per CBM by the number of jeans that fit into a CBM. What do we have? Our previous figure, taking into consideration container utilization, is $35 per CBM. Divide that into the 240 pairs of jeans that fit into a cubic meter, and what do we have? The ocean transportation component. In the answer, the prorated transportation expense assigned to each pair of jeans is 15 cents. If ever anyone needed financial justification for why companies in the U.S. import from Asia, here's the reason. Or at least here's one of the reasons, because the prorated expense of importing, in this case, 16,800 pairs of jeans, is 15 cents per jean. Divide $2,400, which is the total amount of ocean transportation that we calculated, by 16,800 and see what you get. It's going to be 15 cents per pair of jeans. As hard to believe as it might be, that's the prorated transportation expense assigned to each pair of jeans, 15 cents per pair. Let's move on. We're going to look now at calculating landed cost, the customs duties and fees component. Step 1 is to determine the duty amount, which is the entered value multiplied by the duty rate. We already said that the entered value was $252,000. Well, where did that come from? $15 a pair times 16,800 pairs of jeans in that container. You can believe that that equals $252,000. That's the other cheat sheet figure that we gave. We'll come back to that in a second. Step 2. Calculate the merchandise processing fee, which is 0.3464% of the value of the goods, with a minimum of $25.67 and a max of $497.99. We want to calculate harbor maintenance fee, which is 0.125% of the value of the goods. No maximum. Step 4, add them all together. Duties, MPF, and HMF. Step 5, determine the duties and fees per pair, which is that total divided by the total number of pairs of jeans. Let's see what we got. As we said, step 1, what's the duty amount? The entered value was $252,000. That's 16,800 pairs of jeans times $15. Times the duty rate, which we already said was 16.6%. That's where that 0.166 comes from. Our duty, $41,832. Step 2, what's our MPF? Same entered value, $252,000, times 0.003464. That's 0.3464%. We hit the max in this instance at $497.99. Harbor maintenance, same entered value, this time multiplied by 0.00125. That's 0.125%. That comes out to $315. Add them all together. The duty rates at $41,000 and change, almost $42,000. The roughly $500 for MPF and the $315 for HMF. What do we get? $42,645 total duties, merchandise processing fee, and harbor maintenance fee. What's the duties and fees per pair? Take the $42,645, divide by our 16,800 pairs of jeans, and it's $2.55. Considerably more than the transportation component we just saw of 15 cents. With that said, the point here is we have to take the unit cost plus the transportation prorated cost and the duties and fees per pair and add them all together to get the landed cost. We're getting to the end here. Let's look at the title of the slide, adding all landed cost components together. Ultimately, all variables in the landed cost equation must be summed in order to ascertain the final landed cost. In the case of the women's jeans example, those variables were the unit cost, we said this, $15. Prorated ocean and related expenses, 15 cents per pair. Customs duties, MPF and HMF, $255. Add them all together. What do you get? In the last bullet, $17.70 per pair. That's the landed cost out to Cerritos, California for each pair of jeans. It's not $15. That's the unit cost. It's $17.70. Prorated. Without that number, Valentina Fashions isn't going to have any idea what their real cost is, what they should probably sell the product for in the first place, and what their gross profit and gross margin would be. This is an all-encompassing example that hopefully illustrates each and every point that we've made thus far as it relates to landed cost. Some comments and observations, just as we did in our earlier, more simplified example. When dealing with multiple items in a container, the ability to prorate ocean costs is critical. In our example, we were using the jeans. But imagine if there was footwear in that container, if there were accessories in that container. How would we account for all of those different configurations and master pack quantities and dimensions and such? By doing what we see in bullet 2. Understanding that all sources of expenses, regardless of unit of measure, must be converted to a dollar-denominated number. As we've said multiple times, the initial landed cost calculation, it's an estimate. As shipments unfold and goods move, and in one situation we have 70 cubic meters in a container, and in the next we have 72 or 60, these are the factors that are going to change, that are going to create a variation, a variance, between what we estimated the landed cost to be and what it really was. To that point, as a trade tip, sophisticated importers calculate estimated landed cost, but also track actuals, averages, and there's that word one more time, variances. The difference between what we estimated the landed cost to be and what it really was. Wow, that was a pretty hefty module. 21 sections in total. When we started, we said that our objectives were the following. You decide if we achieve them. First, establish sourcing as a strategic function within the context of global supply chain management. We went out of our way to contextualize sourcing as it related to purchasing, to accounting, to logistics, on and on. We wanted to demonstrate how well-designed and executed sourcing strategies can positively impact supply chain performance. There's no question that how well the purchasing function works is a direct result of how well sourcing is put into place. We wanted to identify the operational parameters of the sourcing discipline and then provide technical know-how and techniques that enhance sourcing activities. Hopefully, everything that we did, and especially the landed cost sections, allowed us to achieve those objectives. That is the end of this module. Please come back for Module 5.